Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steph from the Hot Mover Podcast. And Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes came out here to Tempe in Arizona to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils and won the game 27-24 in heroic fashion, with Deion Sanders leading the late game drive to set up that field goal. And Deion Sanders isn't happy at all. Apparently, or not apparently, he said after the game, he's sick of the mediocrity. He's tired of it. Specifically, what he says is, I apologize for my anger today, but I don't expect mediocrity. Sanders says afterwards, he said he is sick of it. He goes on to say, I delivered every type of message you can fathom. He said, it's not just the team. This is all of us. This is me and the coaches included. So I think he's going off the fact that last week against USC, slow start, self-inflicted wounds. Okay, they came back in the second half and made the game much more competitive. Okay, the game against Colorado State, very competitive, back and forth, slow start as well. And in this game, Deion Sanders, he played well, didn't have his gaudy numbers, but he had the late game drive, right? They're winning games, okay? And this program came a long way, especially being 1-11 last year to being 4-2 now and getting the first Pac-12 win. They're above expectations. They're ahead of schedule, right? I know when the season started out 3-0, especially in that spectacular opening game against the ranked TCU at the time, it's like, okay, they could be onto something. Could this be a major turnaround this year, and could they run the table possibly in the Pac-12? Then they run into a buzzsaw in Oregon, who's very good. They rebound and get a win against a 1-4 at the time Arizona State team, but an Arizona State team that's been competitive in the past few games, and we saw what they did against USC and making that game very competitive. So I will say this. I understand Deion's frustrations with the team and just, not trying to have these self-inflicted penalties and slow starts. But the Pac-12 is competitive, right? It's been a very competitive league this year. They have a lot of ranked teams, a few teams that are looking to try to get into the college football playoffs and compete for a national championship with USC, Oregon, Washington, Oregon State. They still can make some noise and try to win this Pac-12 league, right? So, they clearly are missing the talent on the defensive side of the ball, and the O-line issues continue to rear its ugly head. That's not really something Deion Sanders can control. You can coach these guys up all you want to. They're just not there yet. New program, new players, new coaching staff, all those things are going to affect the season. But nonetheless, they still sit 4-2. So when they start out 3-0, a lot of people are looking at this schedule at, what are the games they can win. And now that you look at now that you see the way the Pac-12 is shifting and the way and how competitive it is and how they're playing, the only gimme game is the Stanford game, and that's not a gimme game either, right? After that, they got UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, and we just saw what they did with USC, Washington State, and Utah, right? So, you see Utah, they're 4-1, Oregon State's 5-1, Arizona's 3-3, but they put up a hell of a fight today. And it's gonna get brutal. It's gonna get brutal, and the expectations for Colorado was always, for me at least, somewhere between 6 to 8 wins, right? So can they find a way to win 2 more games, 3 more games with this brutal schedule? Before it didn't look as brutal. Now, considering just the level of play and how competitive these teams are, regardless of the record in the Pac-12, can they find a way to squeeze out 2 more wins to be bowl eligible, to get in the bowl game? And if they are able to, incredible. I think they can find a way to squeeze out 2 more wins. I think that Stanford and UCLA could be the 2 games they can win. But UCLA has a really good defense. They've been playing really well themselves. So Deion Sanders is trying to get that message out there to his team and his staff that, look, we won the game, but how we're winning is not acceptable. We need to kind of not have these self-inflicted penalties and these turnovers and these slow starts, right? So, but a lot of that is part of just the talent that they the lack of talent they don't have, or lack of talent they're a talented team. Okay, it's just, especially from the offensive side of the ball, They just lack the guys on defensive line and O-line, which is just going to be a constant theme for this team going forward. And they're just going to have to overcome that, period, right? But, I mean, with Travis Hunter not being there, right? I mean, this week for them, they had Javon Antonio step up. So they have another receiver stepping up and playing well. Kudos to the receiver, but also Shedeur Sanders, right? Shedeur Sanders is just going through his progressions and trying to find the open guys. So Shedeur Sanders has been balling out and making a name for a lot of these guys as well, too. So, good game for Colorado. They're 4-2, considering them being 1-11. It's a great start. Can they win 2 games? I think they can win 2 games to be bowl eligible. But I understand Deion Sanders kind of wanted to tighten up the hatches and put his foot down and let it be known, like, look, I know we're winning games and everything, but going forward as we build this program, this is just not how it's going to be. So, anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think about what Deion Sanders had to say after beating Arizona State and being 4-2 as they're starting to get into the meat of the play in league play in the Pac-12. Very interesting from Deion Sanders, but I understand, though. Let me know what y'all think about it. Thanks for listening, guys. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.